It is Transfer Tuesday, the best day of the week, and it is also Stash Cash Summer where I am piling up money as fast as I can, sort of, and trying to get closer to a financial goal so that we are in a good position to make some really big purchases. Today is Transfer Tuesday here on Pennies Not Perfection, and I'm going to show you what exactly we did in the past week and today on Tuesday to get closer to those goals. That's right, it is a little thing I'm doing for the next 3 months where I'm trying to pile up as much money as possible to get in a really good position to make some big purchases for a potential car, maybe a new home. We're not really sure, but we're trying to pile up money so that we have options and strength for that choice. Normally on Tuesday, I come here and tell you about all the things that I'm doing to pile up the money or to pay down debt. And we've done a lot of things together on Transfer Tuesdays for the last couple of years since I've been doing this. But today I'm actually going to tell you about the things that I've bought. The first thing that you might notice is that this video looks a little different, and it does. So I am currently in the process of decluttering my home before I go back to work. So I'm trying to get rid of as much stuff as possible and kind of move toward a more minimalistic look. And that has also inspired me to fix up my office and my YouTube studio. In that process, I decided to buy a new camera. So I have up until this point done all of my videos on my iPhone, my handy dandy iPhone, but I am now going to be doing it on a camera like a real YouTuber, and I'm pretty excited about it. So in the past week, I bought that. And then I'm also going to tell you about a couple other things that I purchased when we get to my investing Stash Cash Summer stuff because it is related. So stay tuned for that. Right now we are working on 2 different goals. We are working on funding my Roth IRA, which is $6,000 for the entire year. And we're doing Stash Cash Summer where I'm trying to pile as much money up as possible in my M1 Finance account. This is so that we can either purchase a car or put a down payment on a home. Both of these are ever-changing, ever-shifting goals for us because the market for both things is kind of crazy. So we're always kind of moving those goalposts, kind of looking, kind of not. And it's something that we're just trying to pile up money so that we're able to be in a position of strength instead of being fearful and just taking what we can. So that's what we're going to work on today. Let's get started. First, we're going to look at the Roth IRA. The Roth IRA is my Roth IRA, and that is something that I'm trying to do this year. So I'm going to try to put $6,000 in it. Last year was the first time I'd ever done a fully funded Roth IRA. I've contributed something for the last decade, but I've never really maxed it out, even though it was a really low amount. I have years and years of very low income in my history because I, for some reason, graduated college and thought, oh, I don't need to make money, and had this idea that not earning money was a noble thing. And so I never had enough money to invest. I always invested something, but not a lot. So now I'm trying to make up for all that time and max out every account that I can, including my Roth IRA. So last week we were at $2,455, and that was 41% for the year. So 41% is pretty good. We're like roughly what is this, June? So we're kind of getting close to that 50% mark. I have done a lot of the smaller numbers on my chart that I'm using. I do have a chart. So I do have this investing challenge chart that I made that I am using to go week by week and contribute something. And I have done a lot of the smaller numbers because in the beginning of the year, I was also doing some other financial goals. But now we're working on some of the bigger numbers. That means this week I put $105 into the Roth IRA account. $105 went in there, and that brought us up to a total of $2,560 or 43%. So I'm pretty excited with that progress that we're going 1% to 2% up every single week on our progress. Now let's talk about the M1 Finance account where I am piling up money for Stash Cash Summer and trying to put in as much as possible. I didn't do the best job this week because, like I mentioned before, I did a bit of spending. I did buy a camera, but that came out of my business income, which is separate than our personal income. And that is something that I've been meaning to do for a while now, to reinvest into my channel, to have a better product, to have better quality. So I did finally do that, and it came out of business income. So that's a little bit separate, but I did do some other spending this week. I decided that because I spent money on some consumer stuff and just fun stuff this week, that I would also use those opportunities to invest in the stock of what I was buying. Basically, I went to Starbucks and I spent like $11 to have breakfast. I had coffee and a sandwich, and I spent like $11.23. I might have also got my daughter a cake pop, I don't remember, but I went and spent like $11, rounded up to 12. So because I spent $12 at Starbucks, I decided to put $12 into Starbucks stock. So this is something I did for a while when I was using Robinhood. Every time I would go somewhere like Starbucks, I would just also put the same amount into that stock purchase. It basically doubled the amount that I was spending whenever I went out, so I had to rethink if I really wanted to spend that much money. But it also made me feel a little bit better because every time I was spending something on the consumer side, I was also investing and buying an asset. That was just a little trick I like to do when I was playing around with Robinhood, and I haven't done that for months now, but I decided that since it's Stash Cash Summer, this might be a good opportunity to turn my spending into also investing and buying assets instead of just wasting my money. So I bought $12 and particularly bought Starbucks stock, which I have in my account already. That was rolled over from my Robinhood account. Next, I did buy another very expensive item. In addition to buying the camera, I also bought an iPad. This is not strictly for business use. I will probably use it some, but it's more going to be for personal use. So I did cash out all of my Fetch Rewards points and all of my credit card points, and I purchased a Apple iPad. I did waffle back and forth on this for a while, and actually for months I've been talking about buying an iPad. I finally waited till Prime Day and bought a 2020 iPad. So I did buy probably the best sale, cheapest option I could, but because I did spend, quite a bit of money on this, I decided to put $50 into Apple stock. So I do have the entire Apple ecosystem. I use AirPods, iPad, Apple Watch, iPhone. I have a lot of Apple stuff, so I do buy Apple stock usually whenever I have the opportunity or when I buy a new expensive Apple product. So this week I turned my spending into investing, and I probably will try to keep doing that for the next 3 months just so that I have something to guide me to stop maybe spending as much as I have in the last couple of weeks. Then I had $30 go into this account, and that $30 bought VTI, which is an ETF that kind of buys the entire market. And that was a purchase from a referral, like I said. So I do leave my link down in the description box. And if anyone signs up using my link for M1 Finance, you put in $100 and you get $30. That is the current offer that they have. It does change, so whenever you're watching this, it might be different, but that has worked out for a lot of people. Getting $30 invested back on $100 is pretty good, so that's why people are using it, and it does benefit me as well. I get $30 that goes into my account too. At the end of this, with the gains and with the purchases of stock that I did this week, I am now with the stock portion of this account at $6,964.97. This amount is always changing depending on the stock price and based on how much I have in each stock in the account. So we're just gonna go on one of the, literally I can screenshot it and then it'll be different in the next second. So we're just gonna go with $6,964.97 and then look at the other side of the account, which is the M1 Spend, which is kind of like a checking/savings option. And I put $75 into this today on Tuesday. $25 was the amount that I'm planning to do every single week based on our budget. And then $50 was from my Etsy income. So I get paid pretty much every week with Etsy, and I put $50 of that income toward this project. And then I did forget about the bank account challenge. I am trying to do the bank account challenge where the last digit of my checking account, my bank account, I transfer over to my investing every single week toward my financial goal. And I totally forgot about it until I started to film. And then I was like, oh no, I have to do it. So I moved $10 over total since I forgot. And $10 is the minimum that you can put into M1 at one time. So I just did $10 and we had $10 go in. So we had $85 total go into this side of the account, which brought us up to $5,414.46, which brings our grand total for the week to $12,379.43. Yay, that's great. I'm pretty happy with that. We are now over $12,000. So you've seen that the account goes up and down based on what I have actually invested, and then I am contributing every single week as well. So we're on a good track. I'm pretty excited about it. I think this is going very well. So we're off to kind of a weird start with Stash Cash Summer because I feel like I spent more money in the last 2 weeks than I have for months and months and months. but it was due and I did get some good deals, so I'm pretty happy about it. But if I'm spending money on stuff, I also want to buy assets that are going to pay me in the future and set me up for a better life. So if you've watched this far, comment club, write buy assets down below, and I will see you next Tuesday.